Hello, welcome back. It's Matt here from Christopher Shaw, of course, with my colleague James, and we thought we would do a quick market update for you. We're in a different location today. We are downstairs in our offices below the shop floor because we're having some plastering work done.
Yes.
So nice and messy upstairs. Temporary mess, all for the greater good to make the shop look a bit better. But we thought we'd catch up and talk about the market at the moment, James.
Yeah, sort of give a bit of an update as to how the last couple of months have been. It's been a little while since we've done a market update as such, though we've spoken quite at length when we had Ashley on last month in relation to mortgages and how that is affecting sales and remortgage costs and all the rest of it. But this is going to be more focused towards what's been happening in the local lettings market over the last 3 months. And it's been a pretty wild market, I think, because we've seen rents that have gone up. We've seen stock levels dwindle to very, very small levels, which has that whole supply demand thing where rent has, increased as a result. But also when we've had that, had properties come on the market, the demand has been so high that you end up disappointing a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's something we've seen quite frequently with particularly the sort of smaller properties, the studio / one bed market, the town centre.
It's very competitive.
Yeah.
I know we said this is going to be a lettings update, but I think it is being affected by the sales market. I think the fact that the sales market has become very tough because of interest rates, Bank of England rises, which continue up and up and up. Is having an effect on the rental market as well. So, those first-time buyers that were looking to get on the property ladder, probably just sitting tight to see, whether this kind of upward arc starts to level out and come down. But
also conversations that they might have had with their brokers might have a few months ago, the landscape might have changed completely since. So there's that with them as well.
Yeah.
And, we've seen, and we've done videos on it, in fact, landlords that might have been looking to sell, some are now withdrawing their properties from the market because the buyers there are, might be those first-time buyers and they're struggling to make those numbers work, if you like.
The affordability, obviously ratios have been very strict on affordability and it's gotten harder, obviously. That does have a good knock-on effect to rentals, if we want to look for a positive, in that it does make rents very good if you're a landlord. It makes it very quick. You have very minimal voids. You have the pick of the bunch for your tenants. There are a lot of positives to come from the negative of the market at the moment on the sales side. So like James says, supply and demand is our biggest problem in terms of lettings, is getting enough stock on to basically satisfy the demand that is there. So although we could let 30, we're not letting 30, we're letting our normal amount of properties a month. But you could be doing a lot more. So it is still a very good time, I think, to be a landlord. We don't need to worry too much about renters reform bill at this stage because it's all gone a bit quiet.
So I think it's one of those things that if you are on the market for for sale, it's the question of what you do next with it, isn't it? And now we're having conversations with landlords that might have tried and haven't been able to sell, whether it's either a price reduction or are we going to look to re-let the property again?
And sometimes not even landlords, it could just be homeowners that have got vacant properties, which we know could do really, really well in the lettings market, but have done, they haven't performed well on the sales side, or they were marketed at a time when the market maybe was at a slightly higher peak and haven't adjusted to match the market. So, it could be a good time, even if you're not a landlord per se, to ride the storm, if you like, and get a very good rent, get a really good tenant in there for the next 6 months, 1 year, and then we see where the market is in a year from now.
But with relation to sort of prices and rental prices, we looked at data over the last couple of months, going back to June, and in June it was sort of around £960 per calendar month as a local sort of rental in this area.
That's an average, from studios, 1 beds, 2 beds,
everything.
Yeah.
That crept up it didn't creep up it shot up in July, and we were looking at nearly £200 more than that. It sort of decreased a little bit now, so maybe it's starting to balance a little bit. We're now looking at around 1,050 as an average. So that probably takes a lot of your 2-bedroom market. Things that might have been getting 900 and stuff before is getting a lot more now, and it's sort of having that effect. And that goes with the renewals as well. We've seen renewals really at quite high levels, people sticking, which is also causing issues with the stock demand level in the market at the moment. So renewals, but they're also not exempt from market changes, and we're seeing renewal prices now going up by a lot more than what they previously might have done. I mean, I think I might have said before, £25 per calendar month used to be pretty standard, sort of met the inflation levels. Now with that plus interest rate levels, we're seeing that landlords are now having to ask for more, and I'd say now people are asking around, you know, in some cases it might be that they weren't that far away from market level, but if you've left it for a while, you know, I've seen them go up a lot more than that, but now the £25 seems to be quite a, you know, straightforward one, whereas in the past you might have had to just, you know, adjust it slightly, but now that kind of is your benchmark on a lot of properties, obviously depending on when it was last.
And of course that has a knock-on effect to income averages and affordability. So, you know, if you're saying the average is now 1,056, then you're looking at around about £31,000 a year. If you were living by yourself and you wanted to rent a property at the average rent, granted you might not want a 2-bed, you might want a 1-bed, but you know, to find a 1-bed, 2-bed for £1,000 is still quite tricky. So 1-beds are creeping up that way, 850, 875, 9. You're going to need to be earning, if you're on your own, between 26 to probably 32,000 a year, which is quite a lot. Yeah,
it is, particularly when you know what the average, you know, income in the UK is around that figure. They're on that sort of 28,000, something like that. So you know, there is, you know, there's those issues with it as well, but you know, we're trying to stay positive, to keep going. We know that when we get stock, we know that there will be applicants for them. And so that, I think, is definitely a positive. It's not like landlords are having to have it at both ends. There is demand, there is the rent levels are reasonably good. I think. But it's been certainly a funny old summer, hasn't it? We're very wet July. August is bright today, which is nice. Sometimes you do notice that the market goes a bit quieter this time of year. There's a lot of things going on. We get students crossover, changeover, that kind of stuff.
People on holiday.
So it is an odd time of year, but a good time to just sort of check where you are, see what's going on, and try and push forward into the last few months of the year. Believe it or not, I cannot believe we're almost on that run.
But we enjoy Christmas, so that's we like Christmas here, so that's one thing. So if you are wanting to have a one-to-one update with us, or just want to catch up, then by all means give us a call. We're here for you as always, and we'll get another update to you soon. I'm on holiday next week, so I will be back after that. That's why I wanted to get you this today. And we will see how we get on for the rest of this month, and still really a busy 2-3 months all the way up to Christmas. We never always
something going on with lettings, always something happening. And if you need any advice or any help, like Matt says, book in, have a chat with us. We're more than happy to run through a property review with you, or whatever, just to go through what's going on in the market. Give us a shout. We'll happily sit down and have a chat with you, phone, Zoom, in person, whatever. Let us know, and we can do what we can to help you out. But
exactly.
In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Again, just a quick update from us this month. Just one last thing, actually. Remember one of our guests, Alex Norian, who has been on before. He is running a landlord tax seminar at the start of September. I'll be including details in the newsletter so you can book a place at it. It is free to attend, so it might be worth doing that if you're looking at your numbers or whatever, and you have accountancy questions. Alex is running that in Poole at the start of September, and I'll include details in both the email and the YouTube signature. So have a good rest of the summer, and we will catch you very soon. Bye bye.
See you later, guys.